Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one, and welcome to World of Warships with Rear Admiral Jingles. I realise that I've probably spoiled the ending of this one just in the title of the video alone, but it's not the destination, it's the journey. It kind of is the destination as well. Whatever, just shut up and watch him play. This is Falcon in a Tier 9 ranked battle, hence 6 players per team, domination mode, here on the fault line map. He is in the Japanese Tier 9 super battleship, although technically not a super battleship in the same way that there are, and have been for some time now, super battleships, super cruisers, and super destroyers. You know what I mean. I mean, the Musashi is the sister ship to the mighty Yamato, the world's first real super battleship, except she's Tier 9. And she's almost exactly the same as the Tier 10 Yamato. She has the same 18.1 inch guns as those on the Yamato, although on the Musashi they're not quite as accurate, but they'll still overmatch 32mm of armour plating, and they can citadel pretty much anything from the front. She has the same excellent torpedo protection as the Yamato. She has the same speed and manoeuvrability as the Tier 10 Yamato. She has the same hit points, that's 102,200 hit points on a Tier 9 battleship. That's exceptionally good. She also has exactly the same armour as the Yamato. That's not necessarily a good thing, because the Yamato, and by extension the Musashi here at Tier 9, are many things, but well armoured is not one of them. She's also got the same cheek vulnerability to citadel hits that the Yamato has. Also, just like the Yamato, she's not slow, but she's definitely not a fast battleship, and she's very cumbersome with a huge turning circle. Very, very long-range guns, though. And again, this isn't necessarily a good thing, because if you engage a target like the Dyson over there, at this kind of range, they've got all the time in the world to manoeuvre and avoid the shots. Although, you know, the same is true for the Dyson. Shooting at Falcon's Musashi. Took some hits there, I think. Enemy cruiser. Possibly the Santander. Set of fire. Damage control's now on cooldown. Got a second salvo out at the Dyson. This is looking a bit better. Well, yeah, a hit's a hit. Whatever. The one area, aside from the less accurate guns, that the Musashi does differ from its illustrious Tier 10 sister ship, is its anti-aircraft firepower, which is pretty bad on the Yamato, but it's downright diabolical on the Musashi. Any aircraft carrier in the Musashi's matchmaking spread, regardless of how bad its aircraft are, can basically strike the Musashi with near complete impunity. Its AA defences really are that bad. But which I suppose is historically accurate. I mean, both the Musashi at the Battle of Leyte Gulf and the Yamato itself in Operation Tengo were sunk by aircraft. And Japanese battleships did tend to over-rely on... Oh, that was a good hit. Nice. On the Los Andes over there. But yeah, Japanese battleships did tend to over-rely for their short-range AA defence on 25mm AA guns. Although, to be fair, a lot of Allied warships employed worse than the 20mm guns that everybody else relied based on a German design. Short-range anti-aircraft defence. Although by 1943, we kind of started phasing out the Hurricanes in favour of the much more capable medium-range 40mm Bofors. While the Japanese too, well, in fact, pretty much all of the major combatants in World War II started using their own license-built versions, or in the case of Russia, not license-built, they basically just stole the design, of the Swedish 40mm anti-aircraft gun. The Japanese did still heavily rely on those obsolete 25mm. Oh, one other advantage that the Musashi enjoys over the Yamato at Tier 10 is to do with its aircraft consumables. Both the Spartan aircraft and the catapult fighter have decreased cooldown and increased uptime over the same things found on the Yamato at Tier 10. It's not a huge advantage, but it is going to prove useful in this battle. First casualty, by the way, friendly Los Andes just got torpedoed and sunk by the enemy Santander. Been there, by the way. It's in Spain. You probably guessed since it's a Spanish ship, but it's on the north coast of Spain. It's on the Atlantic. If you ever wondered where the Spanish go for their holidays, you know, when the Costa del Sol has been overrun by British tourists, it's Santander. That's a Spanish domestic holiday destination. Really nice town. It's also where I discovered that a tortilla in Spain is not the same as a tortilla pretty much everywhere else in the world. I was very surprised when I ordered one in a Spanish restaurant, and an omelette turned up with a lot of potato in it. Yeah, that's what a tortilla is in Spain. It was still pretty good, but it wasn't what I was expecting. Anyway, back to the game. The enemy team have the first blood award, and they've taken all 3 of the cap circles. And they are aggressively defending the cap here at Charlie. In an effort to assist his teammate in the Groningen, Vulcan unloads, and you know what, that wasn't bad actually. It's probably about the best you could expect from 18.1 inch armor piercing against a destroyer. And the Groningen's got him. Nice, good job. Looks like he managed to dodge all those torpedoes as well. There is, of course, a second enemy destroyer over there, and the Groningen didn't exactly get away scot-free, but he did his job. The team were wondering there in chat, with the enemy in control of all 3 of the caps, what exactly are our destroyers doing? And the Groningen stepped up to the challenge. I think he's done his job now. I think he is, from this point on, absolved of taking any further risks. There's the Yugumo. They see each other. Well, he's got him. And is he going to survive? Oh, maybe. Maybe. Then again, maybe not. He's still taking fire. He's still in the smoke, though. But I think the Yugumo might have proxy spotted him. No, he has survived. Good job. So they're now 2 kills ahead. 2 enemy destroyers down. Although despite that, they are still 200 points down because it's taking them this long to challenge one of the cap circles. Right, the Nustra Shimmy's engaged. Oh, this is not looking good for the Nustra Shimmy. The Santander's closing in. Vulcan unloads. Unfortunately for the Nustra Shimmy in particular, Vulcan severely underestimated just how quickly that Santander was moving. Completely whiffles that salvo. Which means the Nustra Shimmy is probably not going to survive this. The Groningen is trying to assist, but the Santander just has too much health. And he's taken out the Nustra Shimmy. 18.1 inch guns are ready to go, and that looks like a much more well aimed salvo, although whether it's accurate is, yeah, accurate enough. No Citadel sadly, but 15,000 damage. Even more sadly, the team just lost their Jean Bart. So they're once again behind on Auguru, and they've lost the Ibuki, so there's just him and the Groningen left, and that Groningen smokescreen is not going to last forever. I mean, he's putting up one hell of a fight. As of course is Vulcan. Another big hit. There's the high caliber award, but oh, the Santander has radar. Oh, that's going to be really, yeah. I didn't know the Santander had radar. I suspect neither did the Groningen. And with the Santander burning from a triple fire and about to die, he's not actually being stupid turning around to guarantee his demise by giving a flat broadside to a Musashi like that at that kind of range. He's trying to get his torpedoes away because he knew he was going to die anyway. Which means there will be torpedoes coming. He's almost certainly in range. He was less than 8 kilometers away. Well, Vulcan's in some real pretty shit now. He was 1 against 4, now he's 1 against 3. There's the enemy Musashi. He resists the temptation to over-angle because then the Musashi is just going to... Well, you can see the Musashi was going for it. It inflicted a serious amount of damage, but it didn't have the correct angle to penetrate the cheek armor and Citadel in from the front. There are the Santander torpedoes. The Los Andes is being... I'm not quite sure what the Los Andes is doing. I mean, he doesn't want to get blasted by coming around the corner broadside onto... Oof, yeah, that hurt. Broadside onto Musashi's 18.1 inch guns, but he could have waited for him to fire and then come around and done it and just gone for the ram. Vulcan's the only one left alive on the team. Ramming him wins the match. But instead he's backed right off, and he's just leaving these 2 Musashis to... Well, not entirely. I mean, the enemy Dyson is still peppering him with long-range fire from the other end of the map as he closes in. And you can see that both of these Musashis are being very cautious. They both know what their own strengths and vulnerabilities are. And Vulcan in particular, he's not going to try to angle to get that rear turret firing as the Dyson continues shooting him. What's the Los Andes doing? Is he trying to sneak around to the rear? Vulcan gets an extremely lucky Citadel there against the enemy Musashi. I mean, the firing angles on the front turrets are pretty good. Yeah, the Los Andes is trying to sneak around to the rear. And you don't have to give a flat broadside when you're firing at a target from the rear in order to get those front turrets firing. He's going to have to use the rear turret, however, on the Los Andes, or he's in serious trouble. Shots out. Yeah, I don't think so, Sunshine. That Citadel took the enemy Musashi by surprise, and now he's overcompensating because these guns can Citadel you from the rear as well. Which wouldn't have been possible if he hadn't angled to the rear quite as much as he had. Vulcan's got his heel back up, he's got the damage control. I mean, there's a double fire, but the damage control's about to come off cooldown. There it is, fire's extinguished, the heel's going. In fact, he doesn't even need to Citadel the Musashi from the rear again. Just a couple of regular penetrations will do it. He is down. It is now a 1v1. He actually has 2 of the cap circles as well. And here comes the Dyson. Now, despite recent events, that Dyson on the enemy team is actually 200 points ahead. And I don't know an awful lot about that ship, I have to admit. But it does appear to have incredibly spicy secondaries. That's another double fire. Look at the volume of fire coming from that thing. Is that some kind of secret secondary powerhouse that I just didn't know about? It certainly appears to be. The thing is, both of these 2 remaining players are now in very tricky situations, because while the Dyson is 200 points ahead, it's not going to win on points, not with nearly 9 minutes of the battle remaining. If it would turn around and run away, then, well, Vulcan would just turn around and chase after him and take the remaining cap circles. So the Dyson has to kill Vulcan. And Vulcan, obviously, since he's behind on points and caps, also has to kill the Dyson. But he's down to 4,000 hit points, so you can see what he's doing right now. He's slowed down, he's stopped. Well, he hasn't quite stopped, but he's about to go full reverse. He needs to keep the island between himself and the Dyson, not just to shield him from the Dyson's fearsome secondaries, but also its main gun batteries. Long enough for that heel to come off cooldown. It would also be very useful to know exactly which way around the island that Dyson is going, so he can manoeuvre an angle, and that is where the improved cooldown and uptime of his spotting aircraft comes into play. Because it's basically doing exactly that for him. There goes the heel. He's up to 10,000 hit points. Here comes the Dyson. Although the spotting aircraft did just get into anti-aircraft gun battery range and has been shot down, but it did its job. He's back up to 15,000 health. He knows the Dyson is coming around that side of the island. He's angled as much as he possibly can be to the rear, which isn't exposing the cheek armour, and getting all of these guns firing. Here it comes. 2 Tier 9 battleships, one of which did have a 20,000 hit point health advantage, but no more. 31,000 damage in a single salvo. Vulcan angles away, but not too much. He's still got the guns pointing. Just as they're about to reload, he starts angling back in to get all 9 of them firing. Boom! Not quite a headshot. Less than 500 hit points remaining. I mean, come on. Seriously? Go on in secondaries. There we go. We've got the high caliber. We've got the solo warrior. Yeah, let's get the close quarters expert as well. Why not? Vulcan there in the Musashi, Tier 9 ranked, carrying his team, kicking and screaming over the finish line. Wiping out 4 of the 6 enemy teams single-handed. 6 citadels there, and finishing, if that's not, yes, it is more than 2,000 base XP, good, with a 2,311 base XP match in this Tier 9 ranked battle here on the Fault Line map. Hope you all enjoyed it, take care, and I'll catch you next time.